This story takes place in Florida of the year 1941. We meet Torres, a young man who wishes to one day be a pilot. This story is called The Bullet. 1 year later, Torres is now on board a ship in the North Atlantic. He did become a pilot, but he's still trying to fix the engine of his plane. Their forces are then under attack by something in the sky, some new threat. Torres would find an object in one of the planes and takes it back to study it. The remaining pilots would take to the sky, and Torres is left behind to fix his engine. The object that Torres took from another plane has a very unique design, something he's never seen before. While trying to open the object, it suddenly activates and locks onto the active engine of a plane nearby. It fires a weapon, then flies away, pulling the engine with it. Torres tries to warn the other pilots that something else is in the sky, but it's too late. They are out of range of radio contact, so Torres gets on his plane and flies out to warn them. When Torres meets with the others, it's too late. A new enemy appears before them, a huge ship, with the pilot being a single predator. The ship would use heat vision to track the engines of the planes, and using a harpoon weapon that rips into the engine and pulls it out, along with the pilot. The planes would fire their weapons upon the enemy ship, but they cannot do any damage to it. The Predator remains in his ship throughout the entire battle, but we can see it has two wrist gauntlets, some armor on its right chest, these bony spikes on its shoulders and arms, along with some tech over its mouth, left eye, and around the side of the head. It looks like the dreadlocks are cut off. He's also got some tubes on the back of its neck. This could mean this Predator might be a cyborg. You can see spikes around the back of the jawline and what looks like two tubes on its left shoulder. Another weapon it uses appears to be a giant net. It wraps around the plane, then burns through it. Torres would understand how the enemy ship is targeting the heat from the plane engines, so he comes up with a plan. He and Vandy would fly up so their engines would cool off, but the Pred ship is right behind them. Vandy would sacrifice himself to give Torres time to escape. A device would attach to his plane, and these ropes would burn through the plane. Torres would turn off his engine, it cools down, and he avoids being seen for a while. He fires his weapon inside one of the exhaust tubes, and it gets damaged. Torres then flies his plane low to the ground and in between buildings, but the Predator is still chasing him. So he leads him into enemy lines, and the Pred ship gets hit and takes more damage. The Pred ship falls into the water, but this is not the end. Shortly after, the ship emerges from the water. It's still following Torres, but it's taken a lot of damage. Torres would exit the plane and stand on the wing, waiting for the right moment to jump. The Pred fires its weapon, and it hooks onto the plane engine. As Torres jumps off, he activates the parachute, so it blinds the Pred, forcing him to fly up. The cable from the harpoon then goes both ways on its return. The engine of the plane gets flung over and smashes into the pilot, destroying the Pred ship. Torres would use a flare gun to show his location and gets picked up. He then returns to his garage, but on one night, something happens. He is then captured by predators and taken away, which leads into another part of the story within Predator, Killer of Killers. So this was a very different battle. The Pred controlled a big ship with advanced weapons, and it turned into an air battle versus a group of smaller planes with less firepower. But in the end, the human was victorious because it was smarter. That shows you it's not always about power or who has the biggest weapon. Now, you can also win if you are more intelligent. During this story, I noticed how the targeting triangle is upside down in this movie, where in the past, it was a normal triangle facing up. So that covers the story of Torres versus the Predator in 1942. What are your thoughts about this battle? Tell me in the comments, and I'll see you later.